Hey, what's going on? Happy Saturday. It's B from Kongs R Us, and I know I have a couple of folks here. Adam, Earth Monster AZ, thanks for joining in. Man, I was just catching up with the II Arcade Game and Brew Night stream that Prentice was streaming in Chicago. If you haven't checked it out yet, check out the II Arcade community page on Facebook. Prentice posted some live videos of them having a blast karaokeing off of an II Arcade, I hope. Jong singing Living on a Prayer, Prentice laying down some fat beats, but overall having a good time. I hope everybody's staying safe. I think that's just like my number one, making sure that people are good. But other than that, man, it was really cool to see that community up and running. But tonight I am dead set on trying to finish mapping my Star Wars arcade playlist, but I don't know what happened to my third camera. Hold on one second. I need to double check what happened to my third camera really fast. So some technical pieces, but I've been at this for a while. I've been mapping pretty much almost a little bit every night the last couple weeks. And then last weekend I posted 2 live streams. of me doing some mapping of various playlists. I was up super late last night. I gotta mute that one. Okay. All right. Is a really bad echo? Okay. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. Had some echo going on. But yeah, I've been at it. So my goal for today, for folks that are hanging out and chilling, I'm going to be doing some gameplay of all these shooters on my playlist. So I have all these classic shooters that you see here. So I'm going to make myself small, make the big screen big, but you can see all the games we have going on. We got Alien 3, the gun, some Area 51, Maximum Force, Dragon Gun, Terminator 2. So we'll be doing some gameplay testing out the yoke. These are all what I call my classic shooter games that are like non-3D-ish. And then the modern shooters as well. We're doing a little bit of testing of some gameplay. Make sure that these run as well. But that's what tonight is about. That's what I'll be doing. Dedication right there, man. Yeah, so I've been working on getting a GRS version of this out so I can have folks that have the GRS Yoke. People have been wanting this playlist and seeing a version of it that can be mapped out to it. So that's my goal, is to have a version that's very clean, that people can get into it. So if anybody ever has kind of aspirations to mod your own Star Wars yoke or play it, there's a link to my Facebook group that you can join that has information on getting the playlist. But other than that, let's get into it. So I'm going to jump straight into the games. The games that run on MAME are the easiest to remap. Pretty much just need to jump in here and then change the 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons to the 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons on my yoke. But that's pretty much it. So my 2 bottom buttons are 1 and 0 as they show up. And then 3 and 5 buttons are what I map to these top 2 buttons here. So once that's mapped, my start and coin button's already mapped out. And then we can start putting in some credits and testing it out. Check it out. Pull trigger. This is Alien the gun. Good favorite there, right? Pretty fun deal. Pew pew pew. Looks like my stream is working better. I did a morning stream, like a super early morning stream, at least for me. I think it was around like 8 a.m. my time Pacific. I think I spent the first 45 minutes just trying to get my stream working instead of actually doing any mapping. But this is a good classic right here. Alien 3, the gun, and playing it with the yoke is that much more fun. Check it out. Although I even like Alien Resurrection, is it Resurrection? Is that what it's called? The one on TechnoParrot. I got to double check what it's called. But yeah, that game is super awesome as well. The 3D graphics. All right. Cool. So I'm not going to play like through all the stages. I pretty much am playing just to make sure that all the controls are working. And then I'm going to move on to the next game. So fun times. This is all the only time I get to actually play with my playlist. So but it's not Alien 3. Alien 3 the gun, but what is it? Alien Extermination, not Resurrection. That's really awesome. We'll get to that later on. All right, let's play some Area 51. Now these are traditional actual light gun games, and so they don't play the best on a yoke setting per se, but you can still play them. So a light gun requires you to be fairly accurate where you're shooting, and a yoke you're kind of like clunkily moving it around trying to shoot stuff, but it's possible. So, and for these games, you have to shoot off screen in order to unload or to reload, but you can't shoot off screen using this. So I have to like use my mouse, my yoke to shoot off screen to reload. So it's a little bit clunky, but it works. Let's give it a go. Let's do, I like Maximum Force better than Area 51 for some reason. I think I played it more, that's why. So this is shooting, and then I have to shoot to the top to actually kind of get it going. So let's see how well I do. Pew. It's not bad. Pew. 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 Yeah. I mean, you have infinite lives anyways too, so it's pretty much playing like a railgun at this point, but you're just not as accurate shooting. And you had to reload by shooting off screen, which is kind of annoying. Pew, pew, pew. Come on, get the shotgun. I might reload. Okay. Okay. You definitely need to be playing with a light gun, but but you can do it. You can do it. All right, cool. So the controls are working. Both of the triggers are working there. All right, let's get out of here. So that's Area 51, Maximum Force. That's good stuff right there. Dragon Gun. Ooh, this is kind of like a classic gun game that most people don't know about. But this is a pretty fun game too. So Dragon Gun. Let's get in here. I'll remap some of these buttons. Why is it doing 2, 3, or 4? Do I have a joystick key program that's running right now? Let me double check. What am I mapped to right now? I think. Oh no, it's on Star Fox Zero. That's why it needs to be on Yoke default. Crap. All right, I need to go back to these other ones too and make sure that they're good. Games controls. That's why I was doing that. That's what it should look like. Oops. Okay, button 2, button 3. All right, we're good. So that's Alien the gun. Let's redo Area 51. Thanks for joining, guys. For anybody that's checking it out, we are doing some gameplay on the Star Wars GRS Yoke. I am pretty much going through remapping my playlist, which was, for folks that don't know, just a little history. I created this playlist to work with a modified Star Wars Arcade 1-Up Yoke, and it plays great. But now I am remapping those controls so that by default they work with GRS Yoke because it's that much more awesome. And for folks that just bought the GRS Yoke, it's pretty much plug and play, and it's a lot easier to use. And then for future mods, people that want to mod their Arcade 1-Up themselves, they can use the new GeekPy encoder, which I have been talking about. I will be doing a full tutorial on a little bit later. Dragon Gun. Pew. Ooh, I wonder what the girl looks like. I should have picked her. Should have picked a girl. She looks better. And yeah, I'll be able to use this playlist for both the GRS Yoke and or the GeekPy as well. Pew pew pew. Dragons. All right. So it's like a fantasy shooter. You're kind of like in a dungeon shooting stuff. Gotta. Can I hold the button down? I can. All right. Pew 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 pew. So this is like a rail shooter for sure. So yeah, these like the Yoke, I originally designed it so that mostly you're only playing rail shooter gun games. Like rail shooters are kind of games like Terminator 2 where it's really mounted to something, you're just kind of moving it around. So those are the best games to play, but I have a handful of light gun games on here. I probably will be using this cab or these playlists to make the base bones of my dedicated shooter cab. I'll be doing a shooter cab later on with the light gun. Once I get my Sindens, I also ordered a pair of Sindens. I love the Sinden tech. So hopefully that'll look good right there. So that's Dragon Gun. Pretty good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, I wonder if I have to do this again when the Sindens come. That's going to be annoying, but we'll see. All right. G.I. Joe. This is funny. So G.I. Joe isn't typically considered like a shooter game, but like the gameplay of it kind of is. Like if you check it out when we start playing the game and you start seeing it, like even though you're controlling somebody and you're running on the screen, the actual gameplay itself has a cursor that's on the screen that's kind of like shooting around. So when I was playing it, I originally was playing this on my TMNT mod, and I'm like, this is totally a shooter. So watch, I can pick. I think when I was on the Super Game Room dudes, they said, who would you pick? And I said, Scarlett has the best backside when you're watching her play this game. And it's true. Watch, here comes Scarlett. There she is. But look, you have a cursor on the screen. This game is absolutely a shooter. Like if you ignore the person that was actually on the bottom of the screen, right? You're pretty much playing a shooter where you're just moving your yoke like a railgun. It just doesn't return back to center because like it's the game is actually meant to be using like a joystick to move people left or right, up and down. But if you just use it like you would like a rail shooter game, it's absolutely a shooter. So yo Joe, and you have infinite lives, so you can like blow people up, shoot people. So, but you can't play 2-player though. That's the only bad thing about the yoke. So any of these games that have like a 2-player mode for player 2 guns, you could plug in like another second controller and map it, but most everything is really set for just 1 player. So not enough room for 2 players on the yoke, but you could do a 2-player. I know people have asked me that before. All right, so that's G.I. Joe. Boom, boom, boom. Fun semi-shooter. Hi there. So Letterman asked, would there be a chance you could try the yoke with Pro Cycle? I don't know if I've heard of that game before. What's Pro Cycle? Is that an arcade game that you can tell me a little bit more info about? Like what emulator does it run on? I could definitely look it up and try it, but it's definitely not on my playlist as far as I know. All right, Jurassic Park is the next game I'm going to get to right now. There's a lot of potential games out there that might work well with the yoke, but you know, I've only scratched the surface. But I have a pretty decent list so far of things that I think work well with the yoke. All right, so again, this is a traditional light gun game, so you're gonna have to shoot off screen to reload. But let's give it a go. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. Oh, actually, it's more like a railgun. Oh yeah. Look, you have like unlimited ammo. That's good. And so the yoke is, I mean, it's off-centered because it's centered in front of the player 1 guy. I remember some folks that were asking me like, how come the Jurassic Park game, the cursor is off to the center or off to the side? But if you look at it, it's really meant to be player 1 and player 2. So the yoke or the cursor is centered above the player 1 side. So that's why it's moving back over there. All right. But you have unlimited ammo. This is cool. And this T-Rex is kicking my butt. Come on. I don't know if I'm supposed to do something else. All right. I made it. Oh, now I gotta shoot rocks. I think I've only ever... Oh my goodness. The Velociraptors. I think I've only played this a little bit. I've not played this too often, so... man, I'm totally getting whooped. This is a fun game, though. My goodness. I think I've always stopped at the T-Rex. I don't think I've ever played this much more. Danger. 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 This is a really cool, fun rail game, shooter game. Look at this. I'll continue. All right. The game works. All right. Letterman says prop cycle. Prop cycle. I'm going to have to look that up. Is that... Let me do a quick Google search for that. Prop cycle. Arcade game was a 1996 arcade game published by Namco. Oh, when you're actually like cycling. I think I've seen this in the arcade. I don't know what this is, if this has been emulated and on what system. So I mean, I'm always game to try it on if I can, but I'm not sure what the... Looks like it just runs off of MAME. So yeah, I may have to look for that and put that on my list. But otherwise, no, I've not tried it. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, it sounds pretty interesting. Geonaut68 is asking about NAM 75. Is that another game too? Sorry. So I guess... Is that a video game? NAM 75 game? NAM 75 is a war shooting gallery game developed and published by Games Machine. Ooh, it's a rail shooter, huh? I might have to look for this one too. SNK came out in 1990. NAM 75. Cool. Interesting. I will look at that one too. I'm looking for good rail shooter games because those work the best with the yoke, actually. That's a really good suggestion. I will take a look at that. Prop cycle on MAME. Neo Geo. Oh, it's a Neo Geo game. Got it. Cool. I will take a look at that. Do I have Dead Storm Pirates? I do not have Dead Storm Pirates yet on here. So, and it's another game that I'll just put on my potential to-do list. Dead Storm Pirates. I think that's one of the newer TechnoParrot games that just got released too. So I'm not sure. I don't quite have that yet. But yeah, I don't plan on doing kind of updates to my list for a little while. But these are great suggestions. Great suggestions. B, are most of your builds on PCs? Yes. So a lot of this is using a LaunchBox big box build. And so I am most comfortable and familiar with creating a custom playlist on a PC. It just works easier for me because I like a customized specific playset, and I'm able to kind of pull in multiple emulators instead of just putting it on a singular image. So that's the easiest way that I've been successful. So I like running a combination of classic games plus modern games, and the modern games need beefier CPUs. So that's why I use PCs for most of my builds. Geonaut has another one, Bloody Wolf NEC. Keep giving me suggestions. I love it. I will definitely look these up and see if they will be good to add to the yoke at some point too. I'm going to put this on my list too. Bloody Wolf NEC. NEC. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks for the suggestions. I love it. Cool. All right. So Lethal Enforcers, some old classics. Again, these are more just light gun games and not actual rail shooter games, but they work. I put them on here just to have as classics. And some of these ones that are like lower quality sprites that are just shooting, you kind of need to be a little bit more accurate shooting them than something like you can shoot people a couple more times. I wish I could just like press a button to reload though. That would be the best. Because now I have to like take time going all the way up screen to reload to get to the top. But at least you can play. You know, other fun story, I have a full-size Lethal Enforcers cab in my garage. It was my very first full-size arcade that I bought from Captain's Auctions. I think back, I want to say in July, like I saw the Captain's Auctions post. I think it was Ralph that posted them first in his group about the local auction house. And I live about 45 minutes away from it and in Southern California. Oh, I shot an innocent victim. And so I bought a Lethal Enforcers cab and I thought it was a good deal. I think I got it. I won it at like, I want to say like 400. And my wife was not happy when I first bought it. And I was like, oh, they turned it on and it worked. But the CRT monitor is kind of shot. It's like it works and it turns on, but then it starts fading and getting really like white. So I am at some point eventually going to be diving back into full-size arcade hardware and doing like CRT. I've heard about doing recaps and things like that too. So that's a goal of mine. But I have a Lethal Enforcers cab. That's something that I'm looking forward to getting. All right, this is Lethal Enforcers 2. TG16, is that another game? Geonaut? Is that another one? Gotta look up. Rebel Assault is a rail shooter but crappy graphics. I'm always down to at least test something. So, all right, that's. All right, this game's controls. All right, let's play some Lethal Enforcers 2. Shoot the hold up stage. Pew pew. Stage hold up. Boom, boom. Oh no. Oh, I'm shooting. Oh, that was an innocent victim. Whoops. I gotta shoot the Indians and cowboys apparently. What if I shoot this guy? Oh, that's an innocent victim too. The driver's an innocent victim. I already suck. Pew 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 pew. Cowboys and Indians. All right. Gameplay's good. Gameplay's working. Good thing you have infinite lives, huh? What's up, arcade guy? Thanks for joining in. Just doing some more gameplay of some shooters this time around. Ooh, Line of Fire is a really good Model 2 game. Sega Model 2 game. So this is a really fun. Oh, is it? Oh, maybe this isn't the one I'm thinking about. I think the other one is not Line of Fire. It's called Behind Enemy Lines. That's what I was thinking about. All right, Line of Fire is a MAME game. So these are all classic games. Let's check this out. Let's check out Line of Fire. Bloody Wolf is on TG16. TurboGrafx 16. Is that what you're saying? Oh, got it. I'm trying to stick mostly to arcade ROMs and arcade games because I think they play the best. But I would be open to doing if there's some good railgun shooters on, you know, on a system, on a console. That might be okay if it's good, if it's worthy enough. I'm always interested in testing it. But all right, here we go. Line of fire. Capture the powerful machine gun. Exit from the enemy base. Pew 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 pew. They found me. Oh yeah. Look at this. This is a good railgun. There it is. Pew 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 pew. It's almost like Operation Wolf, huh? This bomb. Let's throw a bomb. Boom. Yes. Yes. Shoot them all. Shoot them all. I've been tired of shooting bucks and little furry animals. I want to shoot fake digital people instead, and machetes and knives. Something that's just fun about these old classic games, right? You ever think about like growing up, like, oh, these games are so violent, but like, it's still pretty fun. That's all it is. It's all good fun. Oh, look at this. Oh, I'm out of. Oh no, I'm out of grenades. Take out this guy. All right, there you go. This game's more fun than I remember. It's cool. It's a good rail shooter. All right. All right. Shockwave on 3DO is a rail shooter. I'm gonna remember all of your comments, Geonaut. Those are some good suggestions. I'm gonna start looking them up and saving them. So I definitely appreciate that. Mechanized Attack. I remember seeing a Mechanized Attack arcade cab like for sale recently, and I was like, oh, I have that game. It's like you're in the ocean. It's a pretty good game. All right, we got 2 fire buttons. I do the bottom 2 triggers as fire, and then the grenade buttons on top. Mechanized Attack. Looks like Steven Seagal, right? Your mission. Stage 1 is landing. Rakapapapap, rapapapap, 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 papapap, pew. Pew. Got Harriers, got people popping out of the ocean. There's so much happening on the screen. Holy crap. There's boats with people flying by. Just imagine this is real life scenario. I'm going to bring helicopters and people popping out of the ocean, and boats with people just lined up, and Harriers attacking you, and big old ships attacking you as well. Man, you really want to take you out. And a giant submarine, a 512 submarine. Danger. Let's take a... Come on. Boom. Bye-bye, submarine. You're dead. You're dead. Oh, I should have picked up all the stuff. Okay. These games are so much funner if you had like 2 players though. If you had 2 yokes, that'd be awesome. You can do like side-by-side cabs off of one giant screen. Oh, I'm thinking about that. Wouldn't that be fun? Instead of doing like a rail shooter game with like 2 TMNT or 2 Terminator 2 analog railguns, if I did like 2 yokes side by side on a singular cab, and then I could really do 2-player racing games and everything else on a singular cab. Ooh, I do have 2 GRS yokes. I wonder what I would skin it to look like though. That would be a first. Side by side, single screen yoke cab. I'm just thinking to myself now. It's like I could do it, but yeah. Sorry. Samiola says also like Area 51. I have Area 51 earlier. If you joined a little bit later, I played Area 51 and Maximum Force on here, so I do have some light gun games. Do I have a list of systems that are on your build? Yeah. If you're joining me from the Facebook group, if you look at the announcement section, I have kind of a link to the Starcade playlist like list of games that also is in Excel format. It has all the emulators are there too. If you're on YouTube, on one of my earlier videos, I did a showcase of what I call Starcade Playlist 2.0. You could check out the video. There's also links to kind of my game list that I have. It's like 331 games, lists all the emulators and stuff that's on there. Cool. Somebody else is asking, I kept losing signal. Sorry if you answered my question, but do you have a list of systems that comes on your kits? Oh, that's no, yeah. So I just answered that question, but yeah. So check out the announcement section. You should be able. Shockwave is a flight shooter. and also a sequel. Oh, I have a game or have a playlist on here that's called more like flight sims. And so that's kind of like the weird thing, right? Because there's some like flying games that look like shooters, like Galaxy Force is a good example of a game that is you're flying a ship, but then it looks like you're just shooting on the screen, right? So you kind of enter some coins and you play a game. So if it's like that, like yeah, like these are great games for that because the yoke makes it feel like you're flying a controller. Oh, I don't think this is the game I was trying to think about. I think it was this is Galaxy Force 2. What was the game I was thinking about that's like more 3D vector graphics? Starblade. Starblade is a fun game. Do you guys remember Starblade? Double yoke. Geonaut likes the idea of a double yoke. Yes. Double the yoku would be awesome. Double the yoke, double the fun. But Starblade is so fun. But yeah, it's double the yokes because I have a bunch of like Mario Kart games on here and other things where you could map a second player. I think it'd be cool. But yeah, if Shockwave is a flight shooter, is it something like this where you're kind of like flying, but there's like something on the screen? No. So like I had a hard time when I was making my playlist. I'm like, is this a shooter or is this more like a flying game? But I'm like, you never see the craft that you're flying. You're pretty much just flying through space. So I considered it a flight sim game, even though it's pretty much like a rail shooter. Like Star Wars Trilogy is a rail shooter, right? You're just flying through scenes in space and shooting stuff. But it's under my Star Wars playlist. That was easy. So I struggled with this and I'm like, this could technically be a shooter. And I think if you look at the actual file itself, I think it says shooter, but I'm like, it's not a true shooter. You're kind of flying. You're almost like in a vehicle. So let's go to Starblade. This is a cool thing about LaunchBox too. It has all the metadata for everything. So it says arcade and there's a genre. It's called flight simulator shooter. It's exactly what it is. It's a flight simulator shooter. So flight sim shooter, and then you have regular shooters with guns, flying verticals, driving diagonal. There's all sorts of things. First person, driving chase view, flying first person. I didn't know they had all these genres. I should update my playlist and make sure the genres are all set. That's pretty smart. Okay, cool. So I'm interested if that Shockwave game is similar to that. I think it would be a really good add to the list. All right, back to my playlist. I am now on Operation Wolf. Operation Wolf, like we were saying. II arcade leaderboards are down. Let's blame Prentice. Yes, I was saying earlier in the stream, if you haven't seen the II arcade Game and Brew, those guys are having way too much fun. And they probably drunk hit the button and deleted the II arcade leaderboards. Sam, did you ever get the leaderboards back up and running? Like, were you able to like log high scores on your machine? Because I think it has to do with the mode that you're in. And yeah, I never posted a high score on regular Dragon's Lair, only on Dragon's Lair 2. So I'm not quite sure about regular Dragon's Lair, but hopefully you got that up and running. All right, double yoke. Shockwires my flag. Shane Christopher is here. It says, "Holy crap! I saw you're streaming again. You're definitely committed to getting these games matched." But yes, I have a strong goal to try and get this done by this weekend because I promised people I think back in January that I would have this ready by early February. And like since folks are like my clients and they really want this list, like I feel super bad when I'm behind letting my clients down. So I just have this personal desire to please. And as much as I try to balance my family and everything else and all the projects and things that I have going on, I'm committed to making sure everybody that wants the playlist and wants to get it can get it. So that's why I need to spend the time and just put my head down and duck into it. But if I'm going to be spending the time, might as well just jump on, turn on the camera and show you guys the setup. So thanks for joining, Shane. All right, so this is Operation Wolf, fun game, pew pew pew, rail shooter. When I get to Rambo, I'm gonna go. Ah! It's just fun to play. You guys will have a blast with this once you guys get it. Okay. All right. Somebody was asking, is your PC strong enough to run N64 and GameCube? My son loves some of the Star Wars stuff from GameCube. Yes and no. Depends on the game. So I do have N64 and GameCube games on the list. In fact, when I go to Star Wars games on my playlist down here, you will see I have the Star Wars Rogue Squadron series, Rogue Squadron 1 or 2 and 3, which are running on GameCube, and then N64 version of Rogue Squadron as well. The only problem is the PCs that I typically run are PC i5s that have 8 gigabytes of RAM, GTX 1050 Ti or 1650. I can find them, and Rogue Squadron 2 barely runs off of it, but it's mostly because it's the third generation i5. So in order to get the GameCube games running well, you need a super beefy PC CPU more than you need the graphics card, because the way that the game was coded, it's really hard to emulate in general, like GameCube games, but not GameCube games in general, but like the actual Rogue Squadron games, they're like traditionally hard to emulate, even if you have the best PC. So unfortunately, I have it on here, but Rogue Squadron 3, it's really hard. It barely runs. I'll do some Rogue Squadron 2 gameplay a little bit later on, but for the most part, like every other GameCube game you could play, it just so happens the Rogue Squadron games are really, really tough. But I will test it out. But definitely, it's on there. All right, so we're on we're on Rambo now. Rambo 3. We're on Rambo 3. I have no on the DL leaderboard. Tech support said it was a known problem and they were on it. It wasn't your settings after all. That's so good to know. Good to know that you have. Shane, you didn't have to send me a super chat, man. I appreciate that. That's really awesome of you. I really do appreciate that. So thanks for supporting, following. I know you've joined me on several of my streams. Oh look, I have another guest here. Glenn's watching live broadcasting maniac Kongs. Don't you want to see your GRS Yoke in action, Glenn? This is your baby. I have 2 of them. And I was just thinking about making a custom cab with 2 of your yokes side by side so we can play some of these railgun shooters, but like have 2 of your yokes instead of like 2 railguns, right? So who needs an Operation Wolf cab or a T2 cab when you can have a cab with 2 GRS yokes? I mean, look at this. You could have 2 Rambos. You can be Rambo and you can be the other guy. Sorry, I forgot his name. I'm not the best Rambo fan, but you can have 2 players. Look, and like, Rambo isn't, I am one of those where it's like G.I. Joe. You don't think it's a shooter game, but look, you have the cursor on the screen. It works pretty damn awesome with the GRS yoke. But yeah, I might make it happen, Glenn. I might try to create a large scale Star Wars themed dual GRS yoke cab, because you can plug 2 of these into a PC, right, Glenn? Just to confirm, I haven't done it yet. I've not plugged 2 of them into one PC, but I'm pretty sure you can. They'll just register as 2 separate yokes. All right, let me exit out of here and see. Sup, Nod. Rust. You said Rust would be amazing. Did you say that would be amazing? Probably. Yeah, I think so. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. All right, double yoke bod is now in my future plans as I try to get it. It would be 2 analog joysticks or mice. Yes. So side by side yoke mods. Maybe what I'll do is I'll have because the Micro Center cab panel that I showed you, the big one with all the lights and the flashing lights, it's pretty dang wide because it has all the different like levers and things you can pull. But maybe what I'll do is I'll have George Adana print me a version that's like side by side yokes that I can put on a 27-inch Micro Center cab, put a 32-inch monitor on it. That would be sweet. Done. Double yoke mod is coming soon. That's going to be awesome. All right, Revolution X, another great rail shooter game. It's going to be awesome. And Glenn was one of those people that I promised that I would send him a copy of this playlist. And I keep telling him, like, I have it done by the end of the week. And I keep thinking that I will. And then I get busy with work and other things. And like, so Glenn, I feel like I let you down by delaying this. So this is why I'm mad streaming, because doing this forces me to make sure I do it and get in here and work on it. So Thanks for joining, guys. I'm going to try to get as much as I can get done in the next 45 minutes to an hour. I think I do like an hour and a half, hour 45 at a time, and then I get really exhausted. So I might do this, put the kids to bed. I might be doing a late night stream again. So who knows? I'm like determined to get this done. Oh, this is one of those like ROMs that takes forever to load up. Revolution X. It has to go through the full cycle of stuff. Yes. Yes, Micro Center also sells my Tron and other items. Glenn, I have it right here. I have your Kickstarter stuff ready to roll. This is the DIY retro board with all your stuff. I'm playing with the different button layout right now, but I have your spinner, have your trackball, have the flight stick that I need to mount. But I have the Glenn special. Before I ever knew you, I was a huge fan. So I'm really excited to do all the Tron stuff. You cannot let me down. Oh, thanks, Glenn. Appreciate that. Mando Mike, what's going on? What's going on? Geonaut says another one for the double yoke. Double yoke. All right, finally, Revolution X is up and running. All right, let's start. 2 credits to start. Oh, look, and this is one of those rail shooters that has 3 guns. Can you imagine 3 GRS yokes on one? Or 2 GRS yokes and a modded Star Wars Arcade 1-Up yoke. I should just do it and then have 3 the yokes. And then I could also do like 3-player, whatchamacallit, 3-player racing games like Off-Road and Super Sprint. Maybe that's a little too ambitious. 3 yokes on one panel would be pretty crowded. But, you know, I'm always up for doing crazy things where I can. Pow, 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 pow. Pow, 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 pow. All right, so this is working. All right, that's the discs that are shooting. It's kind of weird because like this is one of those that has the cursor, but then it also has like the MAME cursor. So there's like a little bit of a lag on the cursor, but you can't. I don't know if you can disable the cursor for just like one game. Analog dip switches. I think you have to turn it off in the settings for like the entire MAME set. So I don't think you can turn off the cursor for just one game. Can you? This game's controls. Does anybody know? Can you turn off the cursor on MAME for just one game? If so, let me know. I'm still learning every day. People think that I'm like super smart with all this stuff, but it's I'm really great at Googling and I'm really good at trial and error and figuring stuff out, but I'm not the best at everything. Micro Center doesn't have my name or GRS on some of the items they sell that are mine. Notably, the Atari spinner is actually mine. It's just been licensed by Atari. Oh, that's cool to know. Little known fact, the Atari spinner that's there, that's cool, Glenn. Actually, I would love to ask you sometime, Glenn, just about the process it takes to make arcade accessories. If you would be down to join one of my shows, like talk about the next level. You were like the original next level guy that's been making all these mods happen for people. So if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to ask you about the process for that. I think that'd be super interesting to let folks know, peek behind the scenes on what it really takes to be the best at creating arcade accessories for the community. It's really cool that from design, development phase to actually production. So many questions for you. All right, so the questions in here. So Mike says, I'm still trying to figure out a setup for Glenn's Kickstarter Kick 2. I need to build my cab. Yep. So you said, I bought the entire package up from Glenn on Kickstarter. I'm waiting for your Geek Pie controllers and the playlist and you'll be set. Yes, you'll be everything. Yay, Glenn. I would love to have you on, man. Sweet. So we'll book it. I would love to get you on. That would be awesome. You can be Glenn. You can be knee Glenn. You can be anybody you want to. So many questions for you, but I would love it. Thanks, man. Appreciate your support. Okay, so this is, I think, Spinal Breakers. Did I just map all the controls for this? Spinal Breakers. Again, this is one of those Rambo games where you're kind of a person. These are just fun. Look. So you're just walking back and forth, shooting. Pew, 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 pew. So slow. Imagine being in war and like walking around this slow. You can't even like dodge. I mean, can you roll? Oh, you can roll. All right, so if I press this button, this button lets me roll. So I can at least, this one's moving me a little bit faster and this one is letting me roll. Roll, roll. Infinite ammo in war is amazing, and multiple lives. All right, so you can roll too. Spinal Breakers. This game's pretty cool. All right, all I'm doing is just testing, make sure the games work, remapping to everything. That would be a great stream. I agree, Shane. That would be a great stream. I will book it in the next 2 weeks, Glenn. So I'll reach out to you and we'll get you on the next level. You are the original next level guy. So the godfather of gaming, guys. Glenn Planamento has graced us with his presence on the screen. So I really appreciate you. Thanks. Deal. He said it. If you guys all saw that. All right. Glenn's trackball and spinner have made my 12-on-1 a dream. That's awesome. You know, Glenn's making a lot of dreams possible. You know, the Tron stick mod, I don't know. Not only I didn't have actual Tron mod, but I implemented the top part of your Tron stick, Glenn. I don't think you even know this. Maybe you saw it on one of my early videos, but my original arcade went up. I took it was the Tron. It wasn't the full joystick. You sold like just the top part that you can swap out and put on the ALU or something like that. And it was just the lights for everything. And I mounted it on top of I think it was an Ultimark 360 controller joystick, because your flight stick is only a digital 8-way stick, but I wanted it to be a true analog stick. So I don't know if that was ever, I mean, I know Tron itself is an 8-way digital stick, but I'm like, this is such a badass controller, but you can do so much more with an analog stick with dual sticks, like playing Star Wars Trilogy or anything else. I really wanted that, but as an analog. So I made my own, and it was cool. But I think I broke the LEDs because I was plugging into a 12 volt instead of a 5 volt, so it got too hot. But I need to fix it. I have more. I bought like 2 or 3 of those when they're available on Amazon. I was like, such a good deal. It's like 12, 13 bucks. Glenn, I don't even know how you did it. So those are. You have a secret Tron analog. What? What? It's not secret anymore. You're blowing my mind. Oh, that's so cool. All right, did you guys see this? Like, I'm having a conversation. I'm geeking out with Glenn right now because he says he has a secret Tron analog stick in prototype mode. Well, if you need anybody to test it, I have many types of analog games to play it on. In fact, like I built my Macross cab as a dual stick analog cab because I just bought Thrustmaster flight sticks because I wanted to play virtual on and you know, just anything that used dual sticks. So that's so cool. You'll show me on your show. I'm so excited now. This is the best thing ever. Thanks, Glenn. You are absolutely making my night for joining in and giving us all the tidbits. So you guys are Tronolog forever. That's really awesome. Agree. Tronolog. Ooh, that's awesome. I love that name for it too. Tron analog, Tronolog. That's cool. Man, I have so much of your stuff, Glenn. I'm gonna buy like a whole set. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I had so many plans for different types of games to play with it too. When I was making my flight sim cab, like I wanted to do a mecha themed Transformers sit down cab when I didn't buy my full size virtual on, but I have a pretty cool dual stick build behind me that has tons of mecha games that have a dual stick layout, a lot of Gundam games, a lot of things that can use it. But I think a simplified version of that playlist using your Tron sticks would be absolutely amazing. The versatility of an analog stick is just so dang cool. All right, I don't think I can map controls to this game yet. I'm just geeking out talking to Glenn right now. But I gotta get back to this list, otherwise I'll be up all night. All right, let's go back. Steel Gunna. Steel Gunna is a good game. All right, where's the coin button? Coin button 7. Push credit. All right, push start to credit. All right. Oh, I'm already playing. Okay, it's been playing. So this is Steel Gunner, simple rail shooter game. Very, very cool. Simple rail shooter guns. Again, these are the best you can play with the analog stick. We could play these games, all these shooter games that I'm playing right now. We can play on the Tronolog, right? Because that's what you need the analog stick for. And yeah, if it has some of the same settings where you can do analog and or mouse mode, you know, Glenn, I haven't even played around with your mouse mode too much because it works great for most of my needs, just using it as an analog. But your mouse mode with the spring return to center is what really kind of pushed me to learn that a lot of a lot of railgun games or light gun games that if you can have a mouse that returns to center, you can load up a ton of games, shooting games, using a yoke setting. So that's kind of what inspired me. But I use a joy-to-key program to use mouse mode with the yoke, which works for me. So that way I don't have to switch back and forth in the middle of gameplay. I can just use the program. But that's Steel Gunner. And then what I did, Glenn, just in sort of so that you know how this exits, I mapped one of the buttons on the bottom using joy-to-key to, if you hold it down long enough, it exits the game. So now it's an exit button too. So that's pretty cool. Yes, you can. You can play all of them. All right, we're gonna have to give Atari 2600 credit for the Tronologue if that's what we end up nicknaming it. But that's pretty cool. Trying to follow your lead, my friend. I'm so happy to have gotten to know you a little bit. Shane is about to say, I'm about to finish up my NBA Jam mod that allows you to simultaneously use the stock arcade PCB with another arcade one-up PCB Raspberry Pi computer using the stock or upgraded control panel. Cool. Talk about being very, space saving. If you can actually use a singular cab and, do the stock, but then switch it to something else. Are you using like a Geekworm adapter and then splitting the signal to a separate Pi? Because I had plans to do that, but I failed with my Star Wars pinball table. That's what I wanted to do, to keep the stock part of it and then upgrade it, but I didn't get there. Let me know how you did that. I'm pretty sure I have an idea of what you said. All right, this is Steel Gunner 2. All right, we're doing some more button mapping for these. All right, throw them some coins. All right, once I get the prototype finished, I would love to live talk to you both about building a plug and play kit. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, definitely message me. I'm curious in seeing what that looks like. All right, the Tronologue, we just talked about that. Okay, Steel Gunner. How come, are the coins going in? Coins? Coin. How come the coin's not mapped? All right, this game. Coin. Okay. My coin button's not working. Why is my coin button not working? Pup. That's interesting. Okay, tab. This game's controls. Coin 1. Button number 7. Maybe if I map it to, let's do coin 2, just to something else to see if I can get a coin going. Oh. Maybe I have to go into like the dip settings for this game and change it to free play mode or something. Steel Gunner 2. Oh, it's interesting. It's giving me issues. All right, I have to make a note and come back to this game because I don't know what's going on with it. Steel Gunner 2. Coin not working. So this is just me making notes so I don't troubleshoot in front of all you guys for it. When I'm doing this stuff and it's not working, I could spend like an hour trying to fix this, but like I don't want to do that in front of everybody. So right now my coin button is not working, but it's registering. That's weird. Now what's going on? Okay, cool. So we're gonna move to the next game. We're almost done with the classic shooting playlist. We've been going at this for 53 minutes. I've only gotten through 60 games. SWAT Police and then Terminator 2. A goodie, an oldie but goodie. Goodie. All right, this game's controls. So these are the 2 shooting buttons. This is 3. This is 5. Yeah, credits work for this game. I don't know why the credit wasn't working for the last game. Another one of these like Rambo games where you're just like, take this, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I don't know what the official genre of these games are, but as long as there's a cursor on the screen and you can move it around, I said, hey, that's a shooter game. We can put that on here. All right, I died. All right, we'll get that out of here. Curious to see what else we got in chat. All right, MAME, and only thing you can see in MAME INI is the OSD input options, like in provider. Maybe that's the cursor, not sure. I will check on that to see if I can take the cursor off on a singular game. If I have to do it in the INI though, it's going to take it off for all the games though. So what I was trying to do is see if there was like a setting where I can remove the cursor just for a singular game. But otherwise, it might just have to stay. It's not that bad. Yes, you are using the GeekPi and the splitters. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. All right. All right, here it is, guys. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. The railgun shooter, like the definitive railgun shooter of all time. I'm gonna say it. I mean, is there a more iconic rail shooter game than T2? Like where you just want to pull up to like a giant gun or Uzi and just kind of start shooting stuff. Like I don't know, it's hard for me to think of another one that is more iconic than playing this. So this is definitely one of the iconic games on the playlist, just having T2 in here. So I remember the first time I got the yoke and I like modded it. Like I think it might have been like the if not the second game, maybe like top 3 or 4 games. Like as soon as I was able to get the APAC working, I was like, oh, I got Trilogy to work. Great. I got BattlePod to work. I wonder if the yoke can play Terminator 2. And then I played Terminator 2 for like 2 hours straight because this is an awesome way to play the game using the yoke and not shooting the humans. I forget how long this scene lasts too, because like, you're kind of in this scene for like such a long time, and I got tired of it. Unless I'm pretty sure there's a more strategic way to play the game than just surviving. But I remember this particular scene just takes forever. Up, shooting a missile, pew 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 pew. Yes, yes, yes. Bye. Goodbye. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I'm having too much fun. I shouldn't be having this much fun while I'm doing work, but it's the reason why. It's the reason why we do this, so we can enjoy it a little bit. I'm sure even for Glenn or for anybody, like Tinker time is pretty much the only time I get to play games. So I'm definitely one of those that I'm in the workshop more than I am playing my games. So this is a really nice time for me to spend some time with the lovely yoke, with this mod. All right, that's T2. I couldn't find GST 2 splitters, so you made your own. Very handy. Yeah, if you can do it. I have like a whole little section here where I'm splitting stuff off and wiring things up, and I save like almost everything, all the little parts that I get from all my mods and things. I save it because most like Bobby Vu, I have like a little shed of it's not shed, but he has a shed full of all these wood pieces, but I do all like the little wiring things, and I keep all the wires. I cut off sections, I keep it because you never know when you need to make your own stuff. It's pretty stuff. All right, let's get into my modern shooting playlist. All right, so these are some of the TechnoParrot games that I have on here. I also have a couple of other, I think, Time Crisis runs off of MAME, Virtual Copter, Sega Model 2. So a couple of Sega Model 2, Sega Model 3 games, and then TechnoParrot. So hopefully these games can run, but let's run some Aliens Extermination. I know this is a game that's also really iconic. Pretty cool to have like an actual railgun that actually clicks. I am on a future episode of the next level. I bought a pair of those analog guns that you can get from AliExpress. And I have a good buddy of mine, Brad Diedrichs. We call him the Gun King. He made a full alien cart. And I'm going to bring him on the show, as well as all the way from the UK, another talented modder named Simon Thornton. He made his own gun cart too. So I'm going to have both of them on once I get my carts. And I'm going to build my own Aliens Extermination railgun cab. So as much as like, I have so many ideas of things I want to do. I want to do a double-sided yoke thing, but now maybe what I'll do, maybe that's what I'll do. Because I was gonna build like a pedestal with those guns, but maybe I'll build a pedestal with the guns and then mount the yokes like near them. Maybe that would be too cheesy. I don't know. Maybe that's too much. I'm running out of space like everybody else, but I have too many ideas that I want to do. So, all right, let's drop in some coins for the game. Oh, maybe it's not mapped. Oh no, my coins aren't working. Pew, 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 pew. Throw in some coins. Why aren't the coins working? So that entered credits. Start would be this button. Nope. Oh, maybe I didn't map my TechnoParrot shooters. Actually, that's what I need to do. I need to double check my joystick key for my TechnoParrot shooters. So let's do that right now. So joystick key, in order to get my mouse mode running, I have this set up here. Okay. Short and long, 9 and 1. Okay, but I need to go into my TechnoParrot mouse shooters and remap them to the new controls. That's what I need to do. Okay. Tricky part with NBA Jam is that it requires a soft shutdown, so you can't just shut off power. Ah, that's true. Yeah, it has the little sliding thing. Okay, so we're gonna remap some of the controls for this. So we're going to make sure that coin is. I'm going to change my joystick key settings to TechnoParrot shooters. And so if Glenn, you're still on, what I did was I created this TechnoParrot profile for when it launches the games. This is my mouse mode setting. So, I mean, it's pretty much an advanced mouse mode that does a spring mode, return to center, just like your GRS Yoke does. And then I have these as the left mouse click, and then the buttons on the bottom is 1 and 9. So I can map that as my starting coin. So that's pretty much how I have that set up. And then when I'm here, I can press the button and it'll go to my buttons, but player one start. If that's start and 9, how come it wasn't working in game? I wonder if it's still one of those things where for aliens, it still needs to be control instead of it being in TechnoParrot. I thought once it's in TechnoParrot, it can be mapped to pretty much anything. Let's try it one more time. The settings looked okay. All right. Do you have any of the shmups that you put onto Die For's build that you can play? Not on this particular build. It's just a regular big shmups playlist, but I have a shmups playlist on here. You can see the ones that I have. The Raidens that are on here are pretty good. Ikaruga. But that one is just like literally hundreds of shmups. And it's easy to import games into a playlist. So I mean, if you have the list of shmups that you want to add, no problem. But honestly, like I don't like shmups are fun, but besides like I think I have Raiden 3, 4, and 5 on here, which are like the nice PC versions of shmups. Like I don't think they play the best on here, especially the non vertical ones. Like if you're playing a horizontal shmup, it's really hard to play with the yoke. So I think that one's kind of hard. All right, why isn't this working? I thought once we ran Aliens from TechnoParrot that the coin buttons would work, but now it's making me still use the controller to be control as coin and then start. And then the number 1 normally would be the start button if it was like by default something else. All right, there we go. That worked now. That was weird though. Okay, so that was the start button. At least I'm gonna have to troubleshoot this a little bit more, but at least I got it working. The cool thing about TechnoParrot when Aliens started getting supported by it is that now you can actually map the controls and the buttons. So I have the bottom 2 triggers as the actual triggers, and then this is my flamethrower on the top, and then the left trigger is the grenade. So I mean, talk about pretty dang cool if you're not. And I think originally on my before my Starcade playlist 1.0, you had to press the big red button because I didn't map it correctly. But Aliens Extermination is pretty dang fun to play with the yoke too. And you have infinite lives. You don't get the force feedback that you would like with the real railgun and the clicking things, but pretty dang cool. And I like, yeah, Glenn, I don't know if you're still in, but I'm on the fence about the clickiness on the bottom triggers of the GRS yoke because when you press it repeatedly, it gets tiring. But I like it though. I like the feeling of it, but it's weird that the top ones aren't clicky. So that's one of my questions for you. It's like, how do you make design choices about triggers and things like that too? That'd be really cool to know. All right, so Aliens Extermination works. Exit. I gotta double check the coin settings on that. So I'm just going to make a quick mental note to myself. Aliens Extermination. Check coin settings. All right. Sorry, I'm getting really close to the camera. All right. Oh, it's checking chant. Gramp, I am. Lots of work you put in here. Cool. Thanks. I appreciate that. You are still here. I love it. All right. Thanks for the details. Doesn't that game use jconfig? It does not. This is just running the PC port, but it's running through TechnoParrot. So once TechnoParrot was supported through it, then you can map the games through it specifically. This is a Model 2 game. So a Model 2, when we need to remap games, you pretty much need to open up the emulator itself. We're going to open up the game behind enemy lines and then set the controls for it. So it's one of those where it's not in alphabetical order. Maybe you guys can see it before me. Indianapolis, Lance Brox. There it is, behind enemy lines. Okay. So once the game is up, we have the mouse there, game, configure controls, and then we need to set our button. So trigger is going to be this button. Missile will be this button. Player 1, button 3, 4, start, and coin. Gun. All right, and then we're going to auto switch thing. Let's go back to full screen. Oh no, my gameplay went away. What happened? Oh, I closed the window. Dang it. Whoops. I closed my StreamYard browser that was streaming the setup. Hold on. I have to bring it back now. StreamYard. Enter broadcast. Now you get to see my face all up close. Glenn needs to make mountable machine guns. Oh, that would be cool to get a little bit of insight into all the cool things you have coming up. All right, there's my capture card. All right, let's move this back. We're back. This is behind enemy lines. Switch to full screen. There it is. Press the start button. Exit. Okay. Rebooting. Okay. Do I have a different button set to start? Oh, maybe I have that button set to test mode. So this is why I test. I think I need to change my test settings. Configure controls. Okay. 7 and 8 I have set to test and service. So let's make service S and test T. Okay. Now we can go ahead and do this. Back to full screen. Behind enemy lines. Push the start button. We're working on light guns. What? Glenn is dropping all sorts of bombs today, man. Oh man, low key Saturday night stream. You guys are getting all the goodies. Unless you've already announced all this stuff, Glenn, and I've just been oblivious. Like, I just love the fact that you're just dropping bombs on my mini casual live stream for this audience of 15 people that are watching right now. So, do you guys see that? Glenn is making his own version of light guns. He's gonna blow the Sindens out of the water. He's gonna be like, "What Sinden technology? I don't need that. He got the GRS technology. We're gonna light it up. We're gonna make it glow." I love it. That's freaking awesome. This is a really cool game. I just love how the way this game looks too. When you're playing with the yoke and you can see like the triggers and everything's like really clean. Like this game, like this is one of those really fun. I love Model 2, Model 3 games. They play really super well, and this is a really fun rail game to play with the yoke too. That's a good one. All right, Polo, what's going on? Thanks for joining. My day was awesome. I've been working on the playlist like crazy. All right, so that was Model 2. As long as the switch to auto full screen is there, we should be good. All right, let's get the next one up. Dream Raiders. Ooh, this is another fun. It's one of, I've never seen a version of this in the arcade, but it's like a motion simulator where you're supposed to be sitting down on something that's actually moving, and then you have like guns that you're shooting too, and then it should work. So hopefully don't we need to do any setup. That should be really cool. Atari says, Mr. RS, you are filled with all kinds of tricks and tips. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Always try to, bring a little bit something different to the community. Booting. All right, I think I just pressed this button and we should be good. Okay, exit. We should be good. Kongs rocks. Thanks, Glenn. If I rock, you rule. How about that? Yeah? That's my little cheesy play. Anytime somebody says, you rock, you rule. Make a little meme for it. Start to skip. Okay, so yeah, everything's working. Crush hour. This is really fun. Jolly Green says, sign a deal with At Games, Glenn, for the light guns. Ooh, an At Games version of a light gun cab. I'd be curious to see. We already have the arcade one-up version of Sinden's. Glenn could do some fun stuff. All right. So yeah, this is supposed to be like you in a motion sim, and then feeling the ride and then shooting. So I think this is one of those like arcade games where it's like motion sim first, shooter second, because the shooting gameplay isn't great. Like you can just sit here and not do anything, and it pretty much just it doesn't matter. You'd still play the game as is, but it's pretty cool. You have 6 different stages. So that's Dream Raiders. All right. Oh, Retro Rivals just did a 3-hour live stream. Can you guys hear me? I think one of my PCs got stuck. This is live streaming at its finest, right? Like I'm upside down now because the camera is completely upside down, and now like I probably would need to end the stream soon because I'll be just doing for day right now. All right. Hey guys, what's going on? You can see my StreamYard on the background here. Like, what am I doing? So my setup, I'm using 3 different PCs to kind of stream this. Whether it's me here, my main PC, which I think literally just like kind of crapped out. I don't know what happened to my main PC. So you can't hear anything. Oh no, am I like you're just looking at me? All right, now you're looking at my trash. Let me see. Audio, mic, PTZ optics. Test, test, 1, 2. Test, test, 1, 2. Now you can hear me. Oh, okay. Now you're hearing me talk out of this PTZ camera that I have here. All right, my PC crapped out on me. It said, this is your 4th live stream in less than 24 hours trying to do this. You need to go get some sleep and go spend some time with your family. So I think that's a sign of my technology telling me that I need to call it quits. So I probably will call it quits now. I'm back, but my PC's dead and I need to get it back up and running. But fortunately, it wasn't the PC I was doing all the mapping on, but I did get a lot of work done. And I appreciate folks that have been chiming in, checking it out. Glenn, thank you so much for joining. You just dropped a lot of huge bombs, so I will be reaching out to you super soon so we can get you on the next level. But everybody else, Geonaut, Jolly Green, Atari, Shane, all the folks that were here earlier, Earth Monster, appreciate you guys joining on a Saturday night. Have a great rest of your weekend. I will catch you guys next time. But otherwise, have a great one and enjoy the rest of your night. And I'm going to struggle to try to hit the end broadcast button while I do this. Take care, everybody. Thanks.